to the VIP.
Yeah, the IP, VIP.
Don't wait, cause tonight's on me.
It's on me, baby, all on me, yeah.
Sexy models, champagne bottles.
Yeah, the IP, VIP.
Got 2 models, 3 more bottles.
Bottle when I'm out, got a bottle. There's only one side.
Be Taylor.
Yeah, the IP, VIP. It's on me, baby, all on me, yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. Got a lot of really crazy stuff going on in the news today, including the Flash star Hartley Sawyer is fired from the CW show The Flash. He played Elastic Man on the show, and he just got fired over racist and misogynistic tweets dating back to 2012. We'll talk a little bit about that. In sports, as we all know, over the weekend, Conor McGregor decided to retire from the sport of MMA, and a lot of people are talking a lot of mad crap to Conor McGregor because of his retirement. So we'll talk a little bit about that. In video game news, I had the opportunity to interview one of gaming's most top personalities, the hip-hop gamer. He's from Hot 97 FM. We'll talk a little bit with him about how he got started in the gaming world, and also he has a little bit of insight on the new PS5 coming up, which is set to actually, Sony is set to talk a little bit about that and do the reveal on June 11th. So we'll talk a little bit, we'll go ahead and get some insight on that in that interview. But first, here are the TWiiNS, Que Me Gusta, right here on the Xander Effect.
You got me going loca. I wanna get to know ya. Your boca on my boca. We're gonna get it on tonight. I'm burning up like fuego. Let's do it nice and slow, yeah. I never tell you no, no, cause boys never felt so right. I just need your hands on my body. Oh, I just need your hands on my... If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. Que te gusta. I know you wanna please me. You know I wanna please ya. I like you when you tease me. I see the fire in your eyes. I get so caliente. Like every time I see ya, we get so indecente. Cause baby, that is how I like it. I just need your hands on my body. Oh, I just need your hands on my... If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. Que me gusta, que te gusta, I'm your chica, muy bonita. Que me gusta, que te gusta, you know where it's at. Que me gusta, que te gusta, I'm your chica, muy bonita. Que me gusta, que te gusta, you know where it's at. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good? Que me gusta. If you do it to me, then I'll do it to you. Baby, don't it feel good?
guys, this is Sean Kanan. Catch me coming up on the Xander Effect. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Let the dancing begin.
She like a real with that trap money. I let the bad throw it back for me. And I keep it fucking full of it honest. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Stay low when I'm spending honey. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Color money.
She know I got the dope, I got that good, she like to smoke. I'm a real trap, she cuff the dope. I make the pack flip, she tuck and roll. I untuck and blow, pack up and go. I ain't gotta say nothing, she already know who got the juice. I'm dripped in sauce, this what she get when she whip with a boss. When she whip with a boss, I run the bands, what it costs. What it costs. Rollin' with a boss, riding around town with the top chopped off. No games, I ain't playing with you. No lanes, no. I ain't with no bro. You already know.
She like a real with that trap money. I let the bad throw it back for me. And I keep it fucking full of it honest. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Stay low when I'm spending honey. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Color money.
Dancing begin.
Music.
Hold up, wait a minute, slow it down. Color money, got enough for the throw around. And you might come through. Make sure you call if you plan on sliding through. Foot to the gas, hand on the clutch. Gripping my pole, I don't give her hand on my pole, no she won't. Pockets are swole, no she won't. T.I., it's another day, we up. Stack up, fist a thought, back up. 30 for the 40, see how that add up. The shorty shoot it for me, twerking with a No games, I ain't playing with you. No lanes, no. I ain't with no bro. You already know.
She like a real with that trap money. I let the bad throw it back for me. And I keep it fucking full of it honest. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Stay low when I'm spending honey. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Color money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Stay low when I'm spending honey. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Real with that trap money. I let the bad throw it back for me. And I keep it fucking full of it honest. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Yo, oh no, I'm getting money. Stay low when I'm spending honey. They know that I got the juice, I got the color money. Color money.
That was Chef Sean's Color Money right here on the Xander Effect. In entertainment news, Hartley Sawyer, who plays Ralph Dibny, aka Elastic Man, on the CW's The Flash, has been fired due to some racist and misogynistic tweets that he posted during 2012 and 2014. And basically, those tweets have come back to haunt him in a huge way. The CW went ahead and gave a statement saying, Berlanti Productions gave a statement saying, quote, Hartley Sawyer will not be returning for season 7 of The Flash in regards to Mr. Sawyer's posts on social media. We do not tolerate derogatory remarks that target and race, ethnicity, national origin, gender, or sexual orientation. Such remarks are antithetical to our values and policies, which strive and evoke to promote a safe, inclusive, and productive environment for our workforce. Now, let me tell you, these tweets were... I can't believe this came out of the same person, because his character, Ralph Dibny, seems like such a nice guy, like really down to earth, really cool dude, and, you know, superhero, but this definitely does not reflect on the real person, the actor Hartley Sawyer. His tweets were ridiculous. Like, I saw posts of his tweets, and many people reposted them, actually. His tweets included things like, enjoyed a secret boob viewing at an audition today. This is on February 14th, February 13th of 2014. Another one that says, I think I could work in a, well, I can't say the word, in a tea factory and be pretty happy. This is April 23rd of 2014. Pretty resentful, my expletive deleted dog hasn't joined me in bed yet. I don't know when that was posted. There's another one that says, sure, I have access to clean water, but I can't watch Godzilla at home until I get my surround sound. So the tweets went on to go ahead and say another one too. This one was from December 19th of 2012. It says, dozing off on my couch like a child molester / my brother. I'm telling you, it's really difficult to read the rest of this, but in response to what happened, and in response to him being fired from The Flash, he went on social media and decided to go ahead and post something on social media saying, quote, my words irrelevant of being meant with an intent of humor were hurtful and unacceptable. I am ashamed I was capable of these really horrible attempts to get attention at that time. I regret them deeply. This was not acceptable behavior. These were words I threw out at the time with no thought or recognition of the harm my words could do, and now have done today. I am incredibly sorry, ashamed, and disappointed in myself for my ignorance back then. I want to be very clear, this is not reflective of what I think or who I am now. Years ago, thanks to friends and experiences who helped me to open my eyes, I began my journey into becoming a more responsible adult. In terms of what I say, what I do, and beyond. I've largely kept that journey private, and this is another way that I have let so many down. I still have more work to do, but how I define myself now does not take away the impact of my words, my responsibility for them. I am very sorry. Man, it's a very difficult situation because, I mean, going into season 7, there's been a lot of changes. The CW is going through a lot of crazy changes right now. Having lost Ruby Rose as Batgirl, now they lose. They fire Hartley Sawyer, and he was the Elastic Man. There was going to be more than likely going to be a lot of new story, a story with him as well. It was starting to grow. His character was starting to grow. So who knows how they're going to go ahead and let go of that character on The Flash, and who knows what's going to happen next. They might have to go ahead and implement a new character in The Flash. So we'll see what happens in season 7. In other entertainment news, another person that's under fire for a tweet they sent out is Terry Crews. Now, Terry went ahead and he posted on Twitter, quote, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. He got a lot of flack for using the term supremacy. And he got a lot of flack. I mean, one of his, another actor, Orlando Jones, went ahead and tweeted, Black supremacy, we represent 13% of U.S. population, hold no institutional power, and gaslight our co-workers. We got 99 problems, and your math isn't the only one. Hashtag stronger together. So that was Orlando's response to Terry Crews. Another one that responded was Wharton Rigby, and Daryl Wharton Rigby, and he said, we have officially entered the Twilight Zone on a day when Mitt Romney marches for hashtag Black Lives Matter and Terry Crews does the thing he does. Another one that also made a mention of it was Frederick Joseph. He went ahead and tweeted, every time I think Terry Crews has done the worst, he always does more. And there's many more to it. Another one, Ricky Davila. He went ahead and said, Terry Crews is bizarrely talking about black supremacy, something that doesn't exist, whilst Mitt Romney protests against racism. Today is giving me a massive headache. In all this, Terry decided to go ahead and respond, and he basically said, please know that every quote on a tweet, please know that everything I've said comes from a spirit of love and reconciliation for the black community first, then the world as a whole, in hopes to see a better future for black people. I mean, in a sense, I gotta say that he was a little wrong for using the term for supremacy. Nobody is more superior than the other. We're all equal. Like I said before, we're all in this together. Whether it's the coronavirus, whether it's protesting injustice, anything. We're all in this together. We're all human beings. We all have blood that flows through our veins. We all have bones that are easily broken. We all have hearts that are easily broken. We're all the same. So for one person to say they're superior than the other that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No one is superior than the other. We're all in a constant state of learning all the time. So that's one thing. And, you know, it just goes to show that tweets, whether they're tweets from the past, as in, you know, Hartley Sawyer's case, or tweets of the present, which is in Terry Cruz's, case, they come back to haunt you. Words can come back to haunt you. Regardless of what you said in the past, present, or what you will see in the future, just keep in mind that these words will always come back to haunt you. So take care of what you say, because what you say, the words that you say, will definitely be able to hurt others, and you don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. Remember, you know, post things of, you know, sympathy, post things of love, togetherness, you know, unity, not diversity, because again, we're all in this together. So that's my 2 cents worth on that. Coming up in sports, Conor McGregor announces his retirement over the weekend, and a lot of people are both kind of happy, but also talking a lot of smack to the former fighter. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up next. But first, here is Great Daeg's Pedigree right here on the Xander Effect.
I'm gigging on this beat, don't stand next to me. I look like happy feet, but on some ecstasy. I'm kicking on this shit like it's supposed to be. Peekaboo like Pikachu electricity. I'm kinda like a vampire, you can't picture me. You don't want these hands, you can't mix with me. You kinda like a fly, you a pester G. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. Yeah, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. Yeah, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. Yeah, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. You can't fuck with me, I'm on some better trees. I'm so fucking special, you gon' remember me. I'ma let it bang, it's a fucking thing. I'm a metaphor to Bruce, I'm almighty. I'm a fucking dog, so I bite back. If you hit me for a song, I might write back. All I want is money and a tight cat. They hired Michael Myers from the right trap. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. Long hair, don't care, mix it with some Blair, saying which project they want me to hop in. Which project they got me a goblet filled with the blood. I let it run, I can't stop it. Dropping all these haters like a bomb bomb. I'm World Wide Web, but no .com. You a little sissy, where's your pom poms? That's why your little missy want my hot dog. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. That's my pedigree. Great Dane in my blood, that's my pedigree. That's my pedigree.
Yo, what's up? This is the Xander Effect, and I am the DJ KID to Kick Your Pre. Welcome to the place to be.
This is it. You're on the edge. Nice. Now don't interrogate me with your third degree, 'cause I don't need a total shakedown. No, I don't have to explain, you're gonna drive me insane. I'm on the border of a nervous breakdown. You've been telling lies, I see it all in your been telling lies. I see it all in your eyes. You've been telling lies. I see it all in your eyes. Spreading nothing but lies. I see it all in your eyes. Fire eyes.
That was the Pondhawks Fire Eyes right here on the Xander Effect. In sports, Conor McGregor has decided to retire from the sport of MMA. Over the weekend, he went ahead and he tweeted, quote, "Hey guys, I've decided to retire from fighting. Thank you all for the amazing memories. What a ride it's been. Here is a picture of myself and my mother in Las Vegas post one of my world title wins. Pick the home of your dreams, Mags. I love you. Whatever your desire, it's yours." So he went ahead and he posted that shortly after the Amanda Nunes fight at UFC 250. And I mean, he went into more depth as to exactly why he decided to retire. Some of it had to do with what's going on right now with the scheduling, no fans, etc., etc. So basically, like, after he retired, that created a Twitter storm of a bunch of the people he's talking crap back to him. And one of them is Floyd Money Mayweather, who basically said on his social media, he said, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you tell Mike Tyson you could beat me if we fought a second time? Now you're quitting. I thought you wanted to beat the best. Well, if you decide to come back, I will be waiting to punish you again. Strong words from Floyd Money Mayweather. Another one that decided to go ahead and also say a couple of things is Justin Gaethje, which basically took to Twitter and said, "Thankfully, all of the elderly are still hiding in their homes. This guy is on another bender. Hashtag proper," I can't say that word. Hashtag bye Felicia. Great fights tonight at Cody Nola_No_Love with the performance of the night. Hashtag UFC 250. Of course, Justin is referencing to the fact that during a moment of intoxication by Conor McGregor, he decided to rough up an elderly person, which was all over the news, and so he decided to go ahead and bring that wonderful subject up in a Twitter. Another person that said is at Ben Askren went ahead and tweeted, "McGregor ain't retiring, he's negotiating." He went ahead to say, "Conor, John, and George versus Dana. This should be interesting." Another one at Gilbert Dorino said, all this guy's retiring now. At Dana White, you got a real fighter right here. I fight anyone of this guy's. At UFC, hashtag rare breed. Aaron O'Chalmers at Aaron CG Shore said, "Good luck with everything in the future at Notorious MMA. The greatest champ ever. President of Ireland. Next." So basically they're saying maybe he should go ahead and go there. And the tweets just went on and on over his retirement. Some positive, some negative, mainly negatives from people that are like, fighters that he's already talked crap about, and they want to go ahead and see him again. So we'll see. I mean, right now a lot of fighters are a little bit, for lack of a better word, they're a little bit cagey because of what's going on. They're not getting the money that they're asking for from Dana White, and Dana White is pretty much giving a whole bunch of reasons as to why he can't or he won't. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it is what it is. UFC will still thrive regardless of these fighters being there or not. I mean, Dana White did show a little bit of regret that Conor decided to retire. Basically, in a press conference, he was regretful about it. He said that, you know, Conor made things a lot of, you know, made things fun, made the sport fun. So, and obviously, because I mean, Conor's just, you know, he's a talker. He loves talking smack to all his opponents, and he said he does a really good job of it, to the point that people both love him and hate him for it. So, you know, it's one of those things where you know, it is what it is, and we'll see if maybe Dana White is able to convince Conor to stay, and John Jones and everybody else that are, you know, that are either leaving or threatening to leave. So we'll see what happens there. In other sports news, the NFL has decided over the weekend as well, has decided to recognize the kneeling of their athletes during the national anthem. And Commissioner Roger Goodell went ahead and gave a statement in regards to that, to the point basically saying that, you know, the statement read, quote, "We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systemic oppression of black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much-needed change in this country. Without black players, there would be no National Football League. And the protests around the country are emblematic of the centuries of silence, inequality, and oppression of black players, coaches, fans, and staff." So after saying that, President Donald Trump went ahead and condemned practically the statement of Roger Goodell by saying, quote, "Could it be even remotely possible that in Roger Goodell's rather interesting statement of peace and reconciliation, he was intimidating that it would now be okay for the players to kneel or not to stand for the national anthem, thereby disrespecting our country and or our flag?" So that was Trump's tweet in response to Roger Goodell. Now, the other question in mind here that, you know, that's going to happen is the person that started these protests on the field is former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. And there's been, you know, his partner, she went ahead and tweeted saying that regardless of Roger Goodell's acknowledgement, Kaepernick is still being blackballed in the NFL. Here's the thing, after speaking to a lot of people that are experts in the NFL, granted, yes, that his protest may have had something to do with him being blackballed, but at the same time, his statistics, you know, in a technical fashion, his statistics basically argue that, in saying that he had a good run early on in his career, but then as the time went by, he started going at a decline as a quarterback. He was causing interceptions. He wasn't passing the ball correctly. There was a lot of things that happened that many people also attribute that to the reason why no other team has signed him on, because they just felt that he wasn't, you know, I guess he just isn't there. I mean, maybe the contributing factor to him playing that way could be the distraction of the injustice going on in the world with black people and the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. So that could have a contributing factor to the way he was playing, and that could have gotten in his head. But who knows? I mean, we'll see what happens in the new season. If, you know, after all this, Kaepernick's head is, you know, back to wanting to play again. Well, I mean, he's been wanting to play again. But we'll see if a team goes ahead and picks him up in the upcoming season. Coming up next in video game news, I had the opportunity to interview Hot 97 FM's Hip Hop Gamer on the Xander Effect, and it was a fun interview, let me tell you, and he definitely educated me on a lot of aspects of gaming, and also gave me a little insight on the specs for PS5. As we all know, PS5, Sony is releasing, pretty much is doing a reveal of PS5 on June 11th, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that, but the person will definitely be keeping an eye on that is the Hip Hop Gamer. And man, it was an awesome interview. But first, here is Safura's High on Your Love, right here on the Xander Effect.
Been floating around like the king of the sky. shit to the back of my mind. Just like a dose of perspective to silence the noise. You're turning me up like I'm one of the boys. No, I can't stop, cause it feels so good. No, I can't stop, like I know I should. Going non-stop, till I'm understood. You got me so hooked. I'm high on your love. I'm high on your love. We started off slow, now we're doing it right. My head's on a roll every day, every night. The way my body reacts when you're giving me feels, yeah. I can't get enough, I'm just keeping it real. No, I can't stop, cause it feels so good. No, I can't stop, like I know I should. Going non-stop, till I'm understood. You got me so hooked. Cause baby, I'm high on your love. 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 I'm so high, I'm so high. I'm so high, high. I'm so high, I'm so high. I'm so high. No, I can't stop, cause it feels so good. No, I can't stop, like I know I should. Going non-stop, till I'm understood. You got me so, cause baby, I'm high on your love. I'm so high on your love, love the feeling. I'm high on your love. I get high on your love, then repeat. I'm high on your love. I'm so high on your love, love the feeling. I'm high on your love. I get high on your love like I'm dreaming.
So on the Xander Effect, I have the opportunity to interview the hip hop gamer. He's a part of the East Coast Hot 97 FM. How you doing today, man?
Yo, I'm blessed, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everything is great. Yo, Xander, all I want to say is that you that dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? You that dude, man. I appreciate you. I can't wait. I'm just honored to be a guest on your show, dog. Real talk.
Nah, for real, man. And you know what? It's awesome to have you on here because I hardly ever get an opportunity. I mean, I've interviewed people that have been like in the music industry, entertainment industry, but I hardly ever get an opportunity to interview somebody that's in the gaming industry. And that's something that like, because I'm a gamer, man. I love playing video games. Ever since I was a kid, ever since the Nintendo was out, I'm aging myself, but I don't care. So I mean,
oh man,
you know, I mean, I've been playing video games since I was a kid, man. I've been hooked. And call me a nerd, call me whatever you want, but it's just an awesome thing to have because it's an escape from reality for a little bit. You get to be whoever you want to be. You get to do whatever you want to do without any real repercussions. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I love video games so much. That's why I love movies so much too. You know, it takes you away from everything. But I mean, with you, like, how did you get started into getting into video games?
Yeah, so it all started with my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. My grandma, she taught me how to play video games when I was 4 years old. So I've been playing video games all my life, man, literally. And, you know, my grandmother, she didn't just give me games as a way to get out of her hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she literally taught me how to play games because she was a gamer. Like, the first game I ever played was Pac-Man, you know what I'm saying? Atari 2600. But Nintendo is what made me a gamer. When I got Super Mario Brothers, the Duck Hunt, like Mario Brothers made me a gamer, like for life. Like that's what that happened. So my grandmother, she used a parallel of video games in terms of objectives, levels, and challenges and related it to real life because she used gaming as a tool to keep me off the streets. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So between video games and church and, you know, putting God first, that's what shaped my life up. So gaming is more than just gaming to play and have fun for me. Like gaming is literally one of the sources that makes me who I am as a person and my character in relation to, following the Lord. So to me, gaming means a lot more than the average person. And that's how I got into it, man. My grandma's.
Wow, that's amazing. No, that's you know what? That's amazing to have that kind of an influence to be able to support you. I mean, but I'm sure you got a lot of flack growing up, by people saying that, oh, you're wasting your time, you're rotting your brain. Because I got that from my parents all the time.
Right. Yep.
I mean,
so
how did you deal with that?
So in my situation, that really didn't. I know that it existed, but that really didn't happen with me. Like, so when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, I played everything. I'm not just the typical dude from the hood that would play, Madden and basketball games and Grand Theft Auto. I played everything, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Final Fantasy, Castlevania. I played all games. You know what I'm saying? But when certain kids, when I was in school and everything, that would try to, get at me with that, I know how to fight. So after that was established, nobody bothered me when it came to that. And then, I'm just keeping it a buck. I know how to fight. So once that situation was eliminated, I actually put other kids on to games, and other friends of mine that, play games anyway. It just became more the culture growing up, because I put a lot of people onto games as well. So, I ain't really have to worry about that, but you're right. That's something that does exist. If you're playing certain games, you're a nerd, or you're not cool, or whatever. You don't get no girls because you sit home and play games, whatever. It's so funny how the narrative is completely different in this day and age. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just say I was ahead of the curve, very, very ahead of the curve, understanding the power in games. But yeah, man, I really didn't have to deal with that personally, but I do see it as a something growing up, how people talked about it a lot. I'm just glad that stigma is gone, and we moving forward with gaming, because gaming is now the number one form of entertainment in the world. So it's just an honor to see the result of where we at today.
And it's evolved so much over the years too, and we'll get into the evolution of video games in a second. But your moniker is hip hop gamers. So I mean, how did you integrate, or how did you figure to integrate hip hop, into gaming?
Yeah, so it's what I've done all my life, but I'm gonna tell you the key part that changed everything. So when I was 14 years old, I started rapping. That's when I actually started, and they used to call me Jackal Flares. You know what I'm saying? And actually, shout out to MC Shan and Crazy Sam, for those that remember them from back in the day. But they actually was gonna sign me and my brother and my cousin, because we had a group, and they was actually gonna sign us. You know what I'm saying? Everything. I had a lot of stuff going on, when I was younger, in terms of just rapping, period. But my grandmother was worried that I was getting into hardcore gangster rap. And at the time, I'm going into the projects every day. I was starting to get caught up a bit in that
and that's
world.
What she was trying to avoid to begin with. That was
exactly. So what happened is the more I started to learn, because so here's a unique parallel for y'all. When I graduated high school in 2000, I started working at the record labels and stuff like that. So from 2000 to 2014, I worked for every single record label, you name it, Rockefeller, Def Jam, Universal Music Group, Interscope. I done seen a lot of stuff. So even before that, just being in the music industry, I didn't realize how fake it was. I didn't realize how evil people can be. It's a dangerous business, to be in, from the perspective that I've seen at a young age. You understand what I'm saying? Now, keep in mind, I don't smoke, I don't drink. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I don't do. I just wrote my raps and played my games. And the things I started to get exposed to at a young age, and people that I seen, or people that I even looked up to, I started looking at them different once I started seeing certain things in the I'm about to say the game industry, the music industry. And I was like, wow. And then I started realizing, I started having conflicting feelings. I started yo, I'm not sure if I want to be here, but I do want to make it in rap. And then I had a battle. I had a lot of demons I had to battle. And then what happened is, in 2007. Because I used to watch G4 Tech TV a lot, and G4 was like the ESPN.
I remember G4. Yeah.
So ESPN was like G4 Tech TV was like the ESPN for video games in terms of the network. And you had Screensavers, Attack of the Show, X Play, all these shows. And Adam Sessler, that's my man, but he's one of the people that I followed a lot. And there was this video that came out about Assassin's Creed, right? And I made a video about it because I didn't like what the guy said. And when I made this video, I got discovered by a gentleman by the name of Torrance Davis. And he's been going to E3 and all these other major places. And for those that don't know what E3 is, that's the Super Bowl of the gaming industry. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I started my Hip Hop Gamer show, and I was doing it every Sunday. And he wanted me to put my show on his website. And because of that, that got me into E3. And when I went to E3 in 2008, that changed my life. The whole hip hop, like before that, you know, there was I had the name Hip Hop Gamer, but when I got to E3, that changed my life. Like that opened me up to make me realize that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, game journalism and everything just expanded from there. So that's how the hip hop part and the gaming part married one another. Because when I was 14, I started rapping, but I've always been a gamer. And then once I took the skills that I had and put it together on camera as a brand, that's when Hip Hop Gamer was truly born.
Wow, that's incredible. Like, you know, you've made a career out of playing video games, which is like something that a lot of people would love to be doing. And, you know, to be honest with you, it's really cool because I've seen your social media, and on your social media you have like a title belt. I mean, what can you tell me a little bit about what's that about?
Yeah, well, you know, like growing up, you know what I'm saying? We love wrestling, we love boxing, like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up on that, you know what I mean? So when it comes to the championship belts, I had every single championship belt when I was a kid because I love wrestling so much.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, my grandmother, she's always been my champion, you know what I'm saying? And she always said that I was her champion. You understand? So the belt that I got, you actually see a picture of my grandmother on it, and you see a picture of my son on it. My son, his name is Marcus, and he's a gamer as well, 6 years old. And on the belt, you also see Eminem, Jay-Z, and Tupac representing the hip-hop side. Then you got Mario, Master Chief, and Kratos from God of War on the other side. And then you got God First at the top, because without God, nothing else is going to exist. Hot 97, and also my other partner is Logitech G. So everything that makes me like who I am and what I represent is on my belt, because I feel like I'm the best at what I do. So I have to honor what I do from a championship standpoint.
Nice. No, that's amazing. And let's about in regards to Hot 97, how did you get linked in with them?
Okay, so when I was working in the mailroom, shout out to my man Davey D, like Davey D from Republic Records. He saw what I was doing, because you gotta keep in mind, even when I was working in the mailroom, I was still getting like major interviews with Samuel Jackson and stuff like that while I was still working in the mailroom. Mm-hmm. And like I'm doing major stuff in the gaming world while I'm working in the mailroom. So the word started to get around that like, yo, this is Hip Hop Gamer dude works in the mailroom. Like I will see him in the mailroom, then I will see him on the red carpet. Like, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I was showing my man Davey D all the stuff I was doing, he's like, yo, you should talk to Hot 97. They could really utilize this. Like, they need this type of content. Like, and you know, Hot 97 and Power 105, they're always battling. You know what I'm saying? Ebro in the Morning, Breakfast Club, and all this other stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened is there was an event that Facebook did for this game called Gig It, right? And Gig It wasn't that good of a game, but they put all this money into this big event. And Peter Rosenberg, Ebro, and all of them, they was on the red carpet for this event, and I was covering the event, you know, I'm a journalist. So I did an interview with Peter Rosenberg, and the interview was so good that they was like, yo, we should, you know, continue this. We should talk more. And I was like, yeah, we should definitely talk more, but also, how come y'all don't utilize gaming? Like, you know, within Hot 97, like, yeah, I remember hip hop and video games grew up together at the same time. Like the first commercial system that came out, I believe, was Atari 2600 in terms of, I think, like 1973 or something like that. And hip hop, I believe, was born in 1976, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like they grew up together and also received the same type of criticisms. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing how real this is. So that's why my brand is Hip Hop Gamer, because I feel like I'm the embodiment of both of the things that I love so much that was treated the same exact way at the same times as they came up. It's crazy. But to go on with the red carpet, I did that, and then we had a meeting. I had a meeting at Hot 97, and I was with Hot 97 for a while, and it took, you know, a lot of layers that I had to break down in order to make them understand and realize that this ain't gonna work unless it's authentic. And they gave me opportunity to make it authentic and gave me like some control in the creative area. And once I did that, and I did my partnership with Logitech G, and I brought one of the biggest brands in tech and the biggest brand in hip hop together and do content and impact the community and stuff like that. That's how the Hot 97 joint was born. And we've been rocking for like some years now, man. Like I've really been on it, man. Like, for real. Like, so I'm very excited about that. Bringing gaming content to Hot 97, streaming the latest video games on Hot 97. Like, that stuff never happened before until, you know, God allowed me to make that reality.
No, and you know what? That's actually very innovative, because you hardly ever hear any like segments. You have your sports, you have your entertainment, you have your weather, you know, you have your regular, you know, type of news, but you don't have video games included in these like news segments. So it's really cool that you added, you know, this segment into, you know, an already built-in system. So that actually works out well for a lot of people. How have you guys been dealing? Because I know that you're in New York, I'm in Los Angeles.
Right.
So I know that you guys got hit hard with the pandemic. How have you been dealing with the pandemic and with, you know, with everything because I mean, they canceled E3, which was a major disappointment for a lot of people. They did it online though, which is really cool, but you know, it's obviously not the same. So how have you guys been dealing with all this like crisis, this pandemic and everything?
Oh, well, see, in the gaming world, like, we was already doing major stuff online anyway. So a lot of companies that's adjusting and trying to do things online is just a whole lot more work been coming our way, because since more people are home, more people are playing games and more people are doing content and more people are streaming and more people are discovering new ways to do things. And we was already doing the things that they trying to figure out. So to me, you got to keep in mind, you know, like before Twitch was Twitch, it was Justin TV. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've been utilizing these services for the longest, like, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these companies, they, you know, ignored it. And I'm like, all right, okay. And now they like, yo, how do we need this, blah, blah, blah. And so we've been doing a lot more stuff. Like, one of the things that we're doing right now with Facebook is we got this series called Play a Part Together. And every week we had different celebrities from Master P to Jim Jones, Cameron. You know, everybody has just been crazy. So we got that, you know, playing games to raise money for the COVID-19 situation. And then even outside of that, we're seeing a whole lot more shows and content being created. Just look at the Versus battle. Just look at all of these things. It's like finding new ways to be creative and be valuable digitally. And gaming is like, that's what we do every day. So now a lot of these companies is incorporating that in their business model, which is very exciting. And when we come out of this, a lot of these things are going to remain. So I'm telling everybody, businesses everywhere, if gaming, and yo, Xander, like, really pay attention to this, bro. Mm-hmm. If gaming is not a part of your general business model, your general structure on how your business operates, you are losing and you are behind.
Facts.
Period. So I'm telling you right now, let this be a lesson, because, for example, Travis Scott, right? You know, a lot of people can't go and do shows and perform and tour, but Travis Scott just did a 6-day tour in Fortnite and got over 21 million people to check it out.
Yep.
You understand the value in that. And you got to understand, Travis Scott is not the first person to do this. Marshmello isn't even the first person to do this overall. Like, back in the day during the PlayStation 3 era, I was one of the first, I'm the first black journalist to be a character inside PlayStation Home. So I was built in 75 million, 83 million now, I think. But I was programmed inside every single PS3. through PlayStation Home. And inside PlayStation Home, we had rap battles, little concerts. It was like Second Life, but built in your PlayStation. It was unbelievable. So what I'm saying is, what everybody's going crazy over now, we've been doing since 2006, 2007. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it's exciting to see, but for someone like me, I'm even more excited because I already knew it was going to happen. Why do you think my name is my name? Hip Hop Gamer. What do you see happening? I've been on to this. Like, this ain't nothing new for me, so I'm just excited to see it.
And it's the truth because it's almost it's similar to what I've been talking about with my executive producer as far as podcasts are concerned. Podcasts have been around for years. I've been podcasting since 2011, 2010. I've been podcasting since then, like on and off since then. And suddenly this pandemic hits, suddenly you start seeing all these podcasts just popping out of nowhere, out of just the blue. It's just like they just start popping up everywhere because since a lot of them can't go to a studio or they don't have the right equipment or bandwidth or satellite or what have you to do an actual live radio show, they decided to do a podcast. And since then, they started seeing the value in it. And in a sense, it's almost like, I don't know, I mean, radio has been around for a long time, but I don't know. It just seems like it's so it's just so demanding in the sense where it has to be political sometimes, too political. And having a podcast leaves you more free to do what you want to do because it's yours. It doesn't belong to a big corporation. So in essence, it's almost I don't know. Am I off on this? I mean, No.
Well. Here's what I would say. Right. When you're dealing with a corporation that owns, what's being said on the radio, they have an option to control your voice. Like, they do have an option to do that. But then you got some leaders that allow full creative control in whatever you want to do, even if they may own it. Which means that, let's say I own Spotify or whatever, and I say, yo, Xander, I want you to do your podcast. I can either be like, look, I want you to do a podcast. I'll pay you this, but we got to stay away from these subjects. Do you sign on to agree? Yes or no? Or I could be the type of person where, look, I love what you do. I love what you're about. You can do what you want, say what you want. You got full creative control, and you don't have to worry about anything. So it's all about the type of leader that you have when it comes to that. If you look at Hot 97, Ebro, he says what he wants to say.
Yeah.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? Which gives you an understanding of the leadership, over at MS Communications.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the way they operate, Now, they're not going to have anything where it's too reckless for the sake of being reckless. Everything that you do, you got to have a point to it. And, sometimes things got to get ugly before they get pretty. Like, you know what I mean? And I get that too. But over at Hot 97, just based off what happens here, it's led. I think that is led well, and it's only going to get better. But everything can be fixed. Everything can be better. Ain't nothing perfect. You know what I'm saying? Everything can be better. But I feel like the fact that Ebro and Peter Rosenberg and Nessa could get on the air and say what they want to say, coming from the heart without repercussion, speaks volumes on how important that message is.
Yeah, of course, and that's always good to have. But unfortunately, I mean, there are stations out there that do go ahead and like limit you on what you have to say and everything. So
that is true.
That's the nature. That's the nature of the beast, I guess. But going back to gaming, I gotta ask. So you played freaking like a bazillion video games throughout your life. What has been like your favorite? Like, which ones have been your favorites? Like, if you were to name your top 5, which would your top 5 be?
Oh man, you already know that's always an unfair question. But here's what I would say. God of War is my favorite franchise of all time. You know what I'm saying? God of War. Kratos is the best character ever created in gaming, period, in my opinion. I love God of War. So God of War is definitely one. That's an action adventure game. I'm going to throw in a sports title, so got to rock with the NBA 2K series because when I remember when Dreamcast came out in 99 and NBA 2K was first introduced, Sega Sports, Allen Iverson on the front cover. Happy birthday to Allen Iverson, by the way. It was wow, it was remarkable, man. So, and I love NBA Live, but 2K took it, man. 2K is to the next level. So I would definitely say NBA 2K. Another game I'll throw in the RPG, and that's Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy 7 to this day is one of the best, most elite products ever created in life. All right, like Final Fantasy 7 is incredible.
Beautifully made.
Yeah, incredible game. And Final Fantasy 7 remake that came out not too long ago, which is a story that I broke many years ago. Final Fantasy 7 remake was just beautiful, man. Just a beautiful game to play from start to finish. So I'm excited for episode 2 of that. But yeah, that game was incredible. Then 4, I would definitely go with Grand Theft Auto because Grand Theft Auto changed the entire industry.
I was playing it. I'm sorry to cut you here real quick. I was playing Grand Theft Auto when it was on PC. That's when I started playing Grand Theft Auto. That's when I started playing, when they had like the aerial view of the game. Like this was way before, it came out on PlayStation or anything like that. Like I was playing the actual computer. I had Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, and 3 for PC, I think it was. And it was just, dude, I love playing on PC because I got to activate the cheat codes. And man, it was just, it got me hooked. And then when I saw it came out on PlayStation, I was like, oh, I gotta have this one. So I've been playing that for a while. But I'm sorry to cut you off. It's
perfectly
really cool.
fine, man. That's what gaming does. It's the excitement. So, and then the 5th one, I gotta go. I'll go with a fighting game, and I mean Mortal Kombat, bro. Like Mortal Kombat, man. Is not only did that game change the entire industry as well, but even with the latest Mortal Kombat 11, man, like the story in fighting games never used to be anything special in terms of the way they presented it. And NetherRealms, shout out to Ed Boon and the team, like Mortal Kombat is the defining fighting game for story, action, gore, uniqueness, creativity, variety, features. I go on and on. So those will be like my top 5. But just to throw in a racer, like a respectable 6-1, but just to throw in a racing game and stuff like that, I would definitely go with Gran Turismo. And the only reason why I'm going with Gran Turismo is because I feel like they redefined what a simulation is. And there's a lot of games that was born because of the direction that Sony went with Gran Turismo and the Polyphony Digital team. So I definitely got to throw that in there. But yeah, man, it's so many games. That's always an unfair question, but I think that's as real as I can answer it. Word up.
And it's, you know what, man? I mean, I got to agree with you, dude. I've been playing all kinds of video games, damn near my whole life. And it's really difficult. I always go back to the old. I still have my old Nintendo. Like before they came out with the one that has all the games in it. Before that one, I still have my original Nintendo that doesn't really work that well. But
right.
I mean, my mom, when she was on this earth, she hated me playing video games, but she actually would get hooked watching me play video games. And one of her favorites watching me play was a video game for Nintendo called Crystalis. And it was just a beautiful game, such a beautiful game. It was very similar to The Legend of Zelda. Actually, it was more so similar to Legend of Zelda 2. And
A Link to the Past?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was more similar. It was similar more to that one, and in the way that it was structured. But I would go ahead and play it, and my mom would just sit there and watch for like the longest time, and she's like, "Okay, I gotta get the hell out of here. You're like hooking me on this damn thing." And she would get up and go do what she gotta do. But she got into it. I got her into it, and the more I grew, the more video games evolved. Obviously things started changing, and she started seeing like the evolution of video games. When I started getting my PlayStation 2, started playing Assassin's Creed, all these different games. She got into that too, but she always said, "You know what? These games are nice and all, greatly made, but I still like my Crystalis." I was like, well, there you go. You have your favorite, Mom. So she always had her favorite. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like there's so many games that I love playing, but the ones I've always been attracted to have always been like things like Call of Duty, Rainbow Six. I started playing Rainbow Six again when it was in the PC version. I started playing Rainbow Six back then. And, playing the PC version was incredible. But, now that I'm playing it on Xbox and PlayStation and everything else, I mean, it's gotten to the point where people don't like me because I'm a camper. And I feel you.
I feel you.
People always give me crap for that. I mean, I got to ask you, as a professional gamer, what's your opinions of campers?
I mean, me personally, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna find you and kill you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because see, my thing is, like, and this is just the way I look at it, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna relate this to basketball. So to me, James Harden, he's incredible. He can score it well. He's incredible. But at the same time, I think he's real cheesy with the way he get his calls. Like, he'll just throw his arms up to try to get a call. Like he relies so much on just trying to get a call instead of playing the game. It's just like
being a soccer player.
Yeah, like certain NBA players that always looking to flop.
Yeah.
Instead of like really take a charge. Like it gets annoying, even though sometimes it works in their favor if they can get away with it. So I feel like as a camper, if you real good at camping and you keep getting a lot of these kills, I'm the kind of person where it's like, look, even if I don't like it, I can't be mad at it. I just got to figure out a way to stop it because it's a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the game. You don't have to like it, but it's part of the game. And if it's part of the game, I don't got to respect it either. But it's part of the game. You know, you just got to figure it out.
It's so funny, man, because I get so much hate for camping because I get a lot. I'm actually pretty good at camping. I've gotten really good at it. I find certain spots. I put in landmines behind me. I put landmines in front of me, you know, if my one behind me goes off or something like that. And I just keep on popping dudes left and right. I get messages saying, you're an effing camper. Why don't you just play the effing game? Dude, you'd be like, you'd laugh at some of the stuff I would hear.
Nah, but not they just mad because they losing. Think about this, like they wouldn't complain if they was if they was winning.
Yep.
They would not care about you camping because they winning.
Oh,
everybody always care about something when they lose it. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you winning, you don't even think about it. So at the end of the day, they not mad because you camping. They mad because they can't figure it out. It's just like with Floyd Mayweather. People will say, oh, his fights is boring. He don't knock people out no more. He's this, he's that. He's a boxer. And if you're a fan of boxing, you love watching Mayweather fights because of the excellence and the sheer creativity and the way he's a magician in the ring.
Points.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets his points. A lot of people just want to see, like, just some random person in the street just swing and whoever get lucky with a knockout. Like, nah, like, this is boxing that we're looking at. So even the fighters that go against Mayweather, they'll say, oh, he ran. How did he run but yet punch you in the face this much? He obviously wasn't running that much. Actually, you should have been the one running because, one, you lost and you look like you lost. So at the end of the day, when you win, that's what matters. And so if you win by camping, so what? That's it.
And the thing is that there's like so many, like, it's another thing too is that I tend to look at patterns in people too. And I tend to see exactly what patterns they're going to be doing after a certain amount of time during gameplay. It's the same thing. Like as far as sports is concerned, I love playing Madden. Madden's one of my top games that I'm playing. My team right now is at a 95 overall. So it's like I got a lot of good players, and I tend to like there are times that I tend to play, you know, certain RPO play that when I play online with other players, they hate that play because they can't stop it. Even if they bring the blitz, they still can't stop me from throwing it to my player and getting points. And I get hate from that too. They're like, you just kept on going with that stupid play over and over. It's like, you didn't stop it. Like, you know, you don't like it.
Yep.
Now you're freaking.
You don't like it, stop it. You can't stop it. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, you talk all you want. You just gonna take this L and you gonna go home and your girl gonna laugh at you and she gonna wonder why you're not as good as me. That's it.
I can already hear you in my headset talking that smack, man. I would be hating you so much.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I'm nice. Like when it comes to like, you know, a lot of these games. So, you know, see, in my situation, because I review the games as well, so I play a whole lot of games instead of playing one game, like, you know, to master everything, you know, like how like a pro player would do if they're a pro Call of Duty player. So all they play is Call of Duty for the most part of their life. So in my situation, I play everything. So there's games that I'm good at. There's games that I'm great at. There's games where I'm like, it's going to be hard for you to beat me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like that nice. So there's different levels to it. But for the most part, I play everything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I get bored easily off of one, so I'd go ahead and go to another one. Like my external hard drive for the Xbox is almost at 90. It's at 95%. It's filled with games, and you know it's like I got different types of games. And you were talking about race games. And personally, I love playing the crew. And the crew.
Oh, the crew is amazing. The crew 1 or 2? The crew 1 or the crew 2?
I have not played crew 2, but I love crew 1.
All right, so crew 2, in my opinion, blows crew 1 out of the way. I mean, blows it away. You gotta try out crew 2. Crew 2. Oh man, this game is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I love it. The levels check. I already want to tell you. You just gotta go see this game. This game is incredible.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. But I mean, with crew 1, I actually went on a road trip with a buddy of mine. He got on, and we actually traveled all the way from Detroit to Los Angeles, down to Florida, back to New York, and then back to Detroit again. That was the route that we took. That took us about a good hour and a half to complete. It was insane. And it was just like, I love that game because of how realistic the landmarks are in the game and the roads and everything. Yeah, granted, like obviously they went ahead and embellished a little bit as far as the roads go in Los Angeles and everything, because I was like, yeah, this is kind of like that, but it's not really like that. It's almost like Grand Theft Auto, how they combined Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. They made a combination and they called it Vinewood.
Yep.
And it's like, it's so funny because that's a combination of both Sunset and Hollywood, and they both run parallel to each other. That's the funniest part. And it's just so funny because, I mean, there's a lot of games that obviously are not as accurate, but they come really close. And I find myself giving people tour guides in Grand Theft Auto. I'm always finding people like, oh, yeah, so here's where this is it. Here's where that's at. Yeah, that's kind of accurate. So that's a lot of fun to go ahead and do, too. But, man, I got to tell you, like, I'm actually super excited for the new consoles coming out. I mean, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. I mean, we have a lot of stuff to look forward to this year. What I'm kind of like annoyed about is that there haven't been any prices that have been announced yet. Have you heard anything yet?
For the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X?
Yeah.
No. They didn't fully announce the price yet, but in terms of behind the scenes and stuff like that, I was getting the $449, $399 number. Now here's what I would say, right? I know for a fact that Xbox is trying to undercut PlayStation this time around.
Yeah, because they failed the first time. That's why.
Yeah. So I believe that if PlayStation comes in at a $500 mark, the Xbox is more likely going to be $400. But I think, respectively, I truly believe that $449 is very, very realistic to me from what I'm hearing. I think that's a great balance, and the reason why I say that is because reportedly the systems cost $450 to make, so they break even on systems, and because their services is doing so well, they can afford to break even because so many other areas of their business will make up for it. So that's why I say I think $450 would be the sweet spot, because these systems is very ambitious, but PlayStation in particular is a more ambitious system because the way they design the controller, the way they design their architecture from the custom parts that from the custom design that they created. Like, Sony did some things that's never been done before, like in like console history, in terms of the architecture, the way they built their
The controllers, they made them more realistic as far as the vibration goes and everything. It's almost like you're actually in the game. They made it so real, is what I've been told. What I've read, actually.
The DualSense controller, yeah. So like, let's say like they could simulate surfaces. So if, let's say, you got mud or you shooting a bow and arrow or you feel ice or something like that, like the controller would feel like what you see on screen in certain areas of the gameplay, which is insane. That's why it's called DualSense, because it's designed to make you feel what you see. So that's one aspect. But in terms of just game design and game development and stuff like that, this is, put like this, the next generational jump this time around is like going from a record player to an iPhone 11. That's how big this jump in the gaming industry is, especially when it comes to the way the PlayStation 5 is designed specifically. So I'm telling you, get ready. Ready.
I'm excited.
Different this time.
I'm so excited for it because, I mean, especially with the new games that are coming out. I mean, you have Cyberpunk. I'm so looking forward to Cyberpunk.
Oh, man, that was looking crazy. Can't wait for that.
That game's going to be insane. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that's another one.
Yeah, that looks crazy too.
That one's like the trailer for it. I was like, oh, my God, this game is freaking nuts. So it's like I'm looking, and then of course Grand Theft Auto 6, you know, which they've been
when they
pushing
announced
back.
that,
They've been pushing that one back a little bit here and there because I'm sure they want to see how everything else goes. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the new, like the Avengers, the new Avengers game. That's another good one.
Yep, that's when that's coming. Yep.
You know, and so I'm excited for all these brand new ones, Madden, the sports games, NBA, everything. And I'm excited for the new generation, the next gen console coming out. The other thing that I'm also really like stoked about is the fact of the matter that, well, PlayStation's not going to be doing this, but Xbox is, and that's making all games backwards compatible. Now,
whoa! Let's stop right there. I gotta stop you right there. What makes you think, or where did you hear that PlayStation wasn't doing backwards compatibility?
I read it actually that what PlayStation's doing, they're not necessarily doing backwards compatible, but what they're doing is that every game that's being developed right now needs to be compatible with the next gen. That's what they're doing. But they're not doing backwards compatibility for their former games because the CEO said that they want to look more towards the future than they do to the past. That's what I read on I believe it was Games Radar. I announced it on one of my episodes. And
all right, not true. This is not true. Not true. This is why you have me on the show.
Perfect.
All right. So PlayStation 5 is going to be backwards compatible from PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4. All right. That's one. Okay. That's secondly, PlayStation, you have to understand the way PlayStation 5 is designed. So when they talk about PlayStation, like for the example, PS4, when they talk about PS4 games running on PS5, they have different modes built within the system. What I'm about to tell you may confuse you, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So in the PlayStation 5, right, you have the PlayStation 5, which is the native mode that the system run at, right? Then you have the PlayStation 4 Pro legacy mode, where the game will operate in that mode. Then you have the PlayStation 4 mode, and the system will operate in that mode. So based on what application you put in the system, it will read it as such. See, the technology, and even if you looked at the patents, but the technology that's in the PlayStation 5, it allows it to mimic previous systems. So no matter what, so if you put in like a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, or whatever, you put in a disc, or even if you download it from their PlayStation Now system, it's going to recognize the system as if it's the system that it was initially made for, even though it's running on the PlayStation 5. It confuses it. It tricks it into thinking that it's something else. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you look at the backwards compatibility in the Xbox, they have what they call a vGPU, which is a virtual version of the Xbox 360. So the software, when you run it, it makes it think that it's running on a traditional 360 system, even though it's running on a 1X or a Series X when that drops. And because of that, they're able to, on the fly, be able to make textures and things like that look better. You understand what I'm saying? They have this process called the SRGen process, which is super resolution. Is a super resolution process where it could take old textures and make them look 4K and without touching game code to do it. You understand what I'm saying? That also plays a part in machine learning because all the systems has machine learning built in them now. They have neural technology built in these systems. So I'll bring it to you like this. If you ever seen this technology called DLSS, which is dynamic level super sampling. And what it does is, and this is something that you can get in NVIDIA cards right now with the RTX line. So what it does is you can play a game, right? And you can render it at 1440p and it'll look better than a native 4K image simply because you have a neural network that's looking at the textures and they're learning it on the fly, and it actually produces better quality than hardware accelerated graphics. I know I said a lot of stuff right now that's going to be real nerdy to your audience, but all I'm trying to say is machine learning and AI is allowing the rules to be changed in game development. And that's one of the rules that's being changed. So when it comes to backwards compatibility, and you can look at this, you can research it and everything, Xander, the Sony didn't come out and confirm this yet. Honestly, there's surprises to be held, for that. But what they did confirm already is that all the PS4 games will run on PS5, but they are testing PS4 games to run in the PS5 compatibility mode so that the PS4 games could benefit from having higher resolutions and higher stable frame rates. I'll give you another example. If you look at PS4 Pro right now, if you got one right now, they have a boost mode in your PS4 Pro. That boost mode is a minor example of the major upgrade and the major leap that's being programmed at the system level, the hardware system level in the PS5. Because right now, I can play like Infamous Second Son and certain older games on PS4, and when I run them on PS4 Pro and I check the boosted mode option, they will perform better naturally system-wide. So what I'm trying to tell you is this stuff is already there. And to prove my point even further, if you look at PS4 Pro and PS4 Pro is still a different machine. Like, it's a different machine from the PS4. Even though the name is the same and it's just got the Pro at the end of it, the machines in themselves are different. The architecture is the same, but there's more power in the PS4 Pro. That's why you're able to get 4K gaming in PS4 Pro, even though you're getting it dynamically. You understand? So what I'm just trying to tell you, I know what you read, but what you read as opposed to what like Sony put out on their blog, you have to look at both so you can understand the context of what you're reading.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
No,
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a journalist, bro. Like I got to make sure facts is heard. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so am I, man. I mean, I got the degree to prove it. So I'm the same way. And I was like, the thing that I read was something that they didn't say is backwards compatible. They just said that they wanted to go ahead and make the PS4 games. They wanted to go ahead and make sure the PS4 games were compatible with PS5, but they didn't mention anything about PS2 or PS1. And that's where the non-backwards compatibility came in.
Okay, so let me put. I'm gonna let you in on something, right? I'll just say this. In 2013, right during the PlayStation 4 reveal, one of the things that David Perry said, who's the creator of Gaikai, which is something that was purchased by Sony, which is called PlayStation Now, right now, because they changed the name of it. He said that there's things that they're doing that was already greenlit by Sony, financially funded, ready to go, created to do, is that they have they are working towards making sure that PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games can all be ubiquitous on one platform. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of the things that was said live on stage. This is back in 2013.
I heard about that, yeah.
We're in 2020 now, and I'm gonna tell you this: there's a video called "The Road to PS5" that Mark Cerny did, who's the lead architect of the PlayStation 5, and in that talk, it's called the balancing of evolution and revolution. And when they talked about that, one of the things that was mentioned was backwards compatibility. And Mark Cerny said it himself that backwards compatibility was masterfully created within the AMD structure in terms of what they wanted to accomplish for this generation. Remember, there's so much stuff that has not been revealed, that has not been talked about. And you remember, this is the E3 month. This is when we normally get that information anyway. So I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, bro. I know what I'm talking about. You'll see.
Oh no, trust me. I know you know what you're talking about. That's for sure. I am not questioning that whatsoever. And I mean, I'm looking like they've been spoon feeding us little tidbits here and there.
Yep.
They haven't been giving us all the information just yet, and for a good reason. I mean, what I'm happy the PlayStation's doing that. I'm happy to hear this information because this information is vital to a lot of gamers. When it comes to Xbox, what I liked about Xbox, going into Xbox now, is the fact of the matter that what they're doing is that they learn from their past mistakes. And
absolutely.
One of the past mistakes that really, really irritated me when the One came out was that I had to go ahead and sell all my games and rebuy games that were compatible for the Xbox One. That's extra money that I didn't want to spend, especially games that were already like barely a month or two old before the new console came out. So what Xbox is doing now, well, at least what Cyberpunk is doing now, and they're saying that a couple other games are starting to follow suit, is that they're saying if you buy Cyberpunk for the Xbox One and then the Xbox Series X comes out, it would seem that, and then you buy the Xbox Series X afterward. What they're doing is that they're allowing you to download the Cyberpunk onto Xbox One at no charge, and that is brilliant for them to do that. And what I'm hoping for is that Madden, that EA follows suit, Treyarch, all these other games follow suit as well, because like I said, their past mistakes was that, and that pissed off a lot of gamers. And then on top of that, they decided, they said for the longest time, for months, Xbox One, Microsoft was saying Xbox One's not backwards compatible. It'll never be backwards compatible. Then about a year after its release, suddenly it becomes backwards compatible. I was livid because I was like, dude, I had so many games I let go. That I loved playing. Now I got to go buy them used. They're not going to cost much, but they were mine. I had them in my possession, So I'm glad that at least Microsoft learned from their mistakes, and I'm glad that PS5 is doing this as well, is doing backwards compatibility as well, because as I said on one of my episodes, I said a lot of gamers love to go back and play the old video games. I love going back and playing Red Dead Redemption. I love going back and playing that one on Xbox 360. I love playing that one. I love playing a bunch of other games on the 360 as well. So it's like I love going back. Like I said before, I love going back to my Nintendo and playing a little Super Mario Brothers every once in a while, because I just love playing the old stuff here and there. But yeah, I'm just happy that they're doing this, and man, I am super over the moon excited for what's going to be coming out this year. And man, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm sure you are too. Bro,
listen, man, I'm telling you right now, the moment that they say pre-orders are live, it's over. That's it. That's all I'm waiting for. Like, pre-orders are live. That's it. Listen, let me tell you what's going to happen. Right? So what's going to happen is, the system is going to come out. I'm going to have them in my house. Anybody that needs to speak with me or anything, make sure you make your appointment well before the PlayStation 5 actually arrives. Because this is the equivalent of, you see how, women give birth and their child come? Mm-hmm. I'm pregnant right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm pregnant right now, bro. Right now. And I got... Yep. And
we're still waiting for the reveal.
So exactly. So I'm waiting to see the reveal of my child. I'm waiting to see the reveal of my child. Well, my children, because I'm having twins.
AKA the price tag.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm having twins, right? The PlayStation, Xbox. It's just that the problem is that, the PlayStation, I don't mean to have favoritism, but you just got to keep it real. PlayStation's better than Xbox, bro. And if you debate me on this on your show, as much as I love you, Xander, I will hurt your feelings out of love, though. So what's gonna happen is, so I got twins happening, right? So I'm the father to one and probably the stepfather to the other, even though they're both my kids and stuff like that. Yeah. And then what's gonna happen is when they're born, I'm gonna need my time. I can't. Everybody just needs to make sure that I'm okay so I can take care of my PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need. So I need, so the games are like the Panthers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the experience is like the food. So I need all of this stuff in place. So as soon as they say pre-orders live, you know what I'm saying?
You go.
It's that's like my contractions. That's my contraction. You know what I'm saying? It's letting me know that it's time. You know what I'm saying? And then when they give me a date, when they reveal the date, that's the second contraction. Now we 2 minutes apart. You know what I'm saying? That lets me know that we about to go and get this. And the beauty of it all is that I don't have to worry about, at least on the PlayStation side of the child, I don't have to worry about waiting for exclusives to be made, because they're going to take full advantage of the PS5 out the gate. So I'm going to get the best experience, come day one. And then when I give birth and the PlayStation 5 is here in my hands and the Xbox Series X is here in my other hand, I can look up and just tell everyone, I love you. Thank you. Leave me alone. And I just can't wait for that moment. I just can't wait for that moment. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Nah, man, I'm with you on that. I'm completely with you on that. And I got to tell you, I was a PlayStation gamer to begin with. You know, I started my first like console was Nintendo, but my second console was PlayStation. You know, I didn't even get a Super Nintendo. I didn't even get that. I went straight from Nintendo to PlayStation. That was it, because you know, again, my parents were kind of not, they didn't like the fact of the matter I played video games as it was, so they weren't going to buy me a PlayStation. So when I started working, I went ahead and bought my own. You know, I got my own stuff. So PlayStation was the first one. I switched over to Microsoft, and it was a tough decision because I just saw that there were a lot of games, and Microsoft Xbox, or the Xbox was coming out. It was newer. It just had a lot of stuff on there that I was kind of enjoying, but you know, after being an Xbox gamer for the past, since the 360, I'm kind of like, I've made so many friends. It's tough for me to start, like, it's like going to a new school. You have to like remake a bunch of friends again. And who can you trust? Who can you be cool with? Who do you know that's not going to become a psycho? You know, when you're playing with, there's a lot of crazy gamers out there, man, that take this like beyond seriously. They get to the point of like, man, give me your address. I'm going to go beat the crap out of you right now at your house. And I'm like, dude. It's just a game, bro. Relax, you know, chill out. So it's one of those things where it's like I'd have to start all over with new friends. It's a pain, but don't get me wrong. PlayStation users get spoiled. You guys get everything. I mean, from cheats to, you know, to free games to like everything, dude. Like Xbox, we have to pay for damn near everything, you know. And the cheats, like I follow a YouTuber by the name of Jay Stone, and Jay Stone comes out with a lot of cheats, a lot of glitches for Grand Theft Auto and for Red Dead Redemption. Right. By the way, he's gotten in trouble for it. He's got a lawsuit against him by Rockstar, and but he still continues to do it. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm still going to provide this because all I'm doing is I'm exploiting a glitch in their system. You know, that's their defense against Rockstar, which Rockstar really, they don't take that as a defense at all. But you know, I mean, he does this, but he's a PlayStation gamer, so there are certain glitches that are so awesome, and then towards somewhere in the middle of the video, you get all excited, like, oh, I'm gonna try this, and it's like somewhere in the middle, he's like, keep in mind though, this is for the PlayStation game only. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, dude.
Well, see, you should play on PC. see, I mainly, like, just let you know, I mainly play on a PC. I have been for quite a while now, and because of the mods, cheat codes, you know, ultra settings, performances, and things of that nature. There's so many other things you could do, and also I got all my old games on PC as well. I got like 100,000 games. I got every system: PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. You got Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 3, Wii U, like ColecoVision. I got it all, like, you know, just on my PC. So I could do everything. Now, what I would say, what I would say is when it comes to the exclusive games and stuff like that, I use that, you know, mainly for the consoles. But Xbox, I could play those same games like Halo, whatever, on my PC too. So technically, I don't need a PC. But this generation coming up is very different because this is the first time that I've ever seen where like the PlayStation 5 is going to be ahead of PC because of the way the architecture is designed. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, when it comes to game development, Xander, like, you got to think, like, if you're making a game that's like a multi-platform game, like a Rockstar, like a Red Dead Redemption 2 that's coming out for Xbox and PlayStation and PC, you got to factor in the lowest common denominator. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you factor in the lowest common denominator, you got to make sure this particular game is scalable on the lowest spec of the hardware that is going to be on. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when they come out with PC games, they got recommended settings and they got like the ultra level settings. So they let you know what you need to have at the lowest in order to be able to run this game. It's the same thing when it comes to a console. Like in the Xbox One family, you have the standard Xbox One, like, you know, the old one. When it comes to the PlayStation family, you have the first, like the base model that came out, which is not as powerful as the PS4 Pro. So you got to factor in other systems when you're making them. But with PlayStation 5, games that's made solely for PlayStation 5 will be able to take full advantage of all the new power, the new tech, the new features. So we're going to really see some special things. But when it comes to multiplats, on that same thing, there's certain design choices that will hold hold the systems back from being what they need to be. So that's something that you got to think about when it comes, you know, to these games and these platforms. That's why I prefer PlayStation a lot more, because PlayStation is in a position to give you more of what the new tech is designed for, because of they got games that you can only play on PlayStation. Whereas Xbox, you can play these games other places, even the ones that's exclusive. Look at Gears of War. I can play that on PC
or
as
Halo,
well.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But a God of War, you only playing that on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Uncharted 4, you know, all these games, you're only playing on PlayStation. Horizon Zero Dawn, I go on and on. So Sony always, like, they always show up, man.
That's
Think about
true.
it. They never lost a generation to Xbox ever. Like, and before somebody says 360, no. 360 won in America, in the US market, yeah, but globally as a whole, they wound up losing. So
that's why I'm glad the Xander Effect is powered by Sony. So I mean, the
yep.
podcast is powered by Sony. So I mean, you know, I'm very, you know, fortunate to be a part of that family as well. And you know, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But we talked about Sony and Microsoft. Where's Nintendo? I haven't heard a peep out of them. Usually, when the new consoles come out, Nintendo's right behind, but I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything?
Well, I mean, there's rumors of a Switch Pro, you know what I'm saying, potentially a Switch 2, but you gotta understand, Nintendo has not been a direct competitor to PlayStation and Xbox for many, many years now.
True.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, ever since the original Nintendo Wii came out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've been doing their own thing in their own lane, just like they do in the handheld market.
It's more for children and family. Like, they've been focusing more for like kids and for like family type of console.
Yeah, that's the way their marketing is, but that works for them. Now, don't get me wrong, they got hardcore games on their system. You know, you can play Mortal Kombat on Nintendo Switch. Like, you know, you can play The Witcher, you know, 3 on Nintendo Switch. So it's not like they don't got hardcore games. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Nintendo, they created a area where they could survive, and it works for them, and they're not considered a direct competitor. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you look at a boxing match, right? Mayweather is great, but you're not gonna see Mayweather fight a heavyweight. Like, you understand what I'm saying? He's a middleweight fighter. He's not a heavyweight fighter. So even though he's in the world of boxing, like how Nintendo's in the world of gaming, like Sony and Microsoft are the heavyweights here. You know what I'm saying? Nintendo is like a lightweight, but they're in a league of their own, so that works for them. And, you know, they make a whole lot of money doing it. Think about it. Nintendo outsold Xbox One X. Like, you know, the Xbox One family. Like, Nintendo outsold them. You know what I'm saying? But PlayStation, that's a whole different beast right there. You know what I mean? So that's something to think about. Nintendo's in their own world, and it works for them. And if Nintendo was to try and compete directly with Sony or Microsoft, like especially Sony, they'll get devoured. And the reason why is because Nintendo don't got a good online infrastructure. So a lot of games won't even be playable that well from an online standpoint. You know what I'm saying? With the Nintendo platform. So that's one nail in the coffin. And then the way they have their online set up with the like Nintendo Switch codes and all this other stuff, you gotta have all these numbers and everything. It's not user friendly like that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot of things that factor in, but I love the fact that Nintendo is the only system that you could take on the go and use it for your big screen TV. Like, you know, the Switch, that's what it's for. So I love the system. System is incredible.
No, and let's see what happens with them as well. Let's see if they surprise everybody out of nowhere. That's all. I'm kind of been thinking. I'm like, they seem like they're the sleepers right now. You know, I mean, they might come out with something out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me though.
It wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't be surprised either. You know, that's just the way Nintendo flows. So, I mean, the one good thing that's going on right now with all these systems and all these distributors and everybody is with the current crisis, with what's going on, not with COVID-19, but with the current protests and stuff like that. All of these companies have come together, and they've all been in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, how are you guys? You know, how are you guys dealing with everything that's going on? Because I know that you're in New York, and I know they have a lot of protests going on over there. How's everything going, like, as far as the video game, you know, market is concerned when it comes to all?
Well, for me personally, you have to understand, like, you know, I'm one of the like first like ones to be in the industry that had a voice, for the black community. You know what I'm saying? One of the first, because you got Game Attack Radio, Console Kings, my boy Torrance Davis. There's quite a few of us. So to me, it's good to see all this stuff happening right now. But to me personally, right, like, it won't matter to me until this is something that's actually permanent. See, right now, it's a trend to support black people because of what's going on. So right now, it's cute to see them doing this, but I'm going to tell you something right now, just to keep it honest with you. And I actually put a tweet out earlier about this. Like, all the stuff you see now in the gaming industry, I done spoke about this stuff in 2008, directly with companies, and they didn't want to do it. Period. They did not want to do it.
Wow.
They had every excuse not to do this. Every excuse not to do this.
Politics.
So it takes somebody to die for you to do this. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, right now, looking at it, it's cute. But honestly, if this ain't the new normal, then it don't mean nothing. All it is just a trendy topic to talk about in a moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example right now. Activision, they got Black Lives Matter all over the place when it comes to the Call of Duty, right?
Call of Duty,
and and that's dope. That's great. Get the message out. I love that. But do you know that Call of Duty came out in 2002, I believe. The first ever Call of Duty came out in 2002, I believe. It's 2020, 18 years. There's never, ever been a black lead character in Call of Duty that you play as.
Very true.
Never. So if Black Lives really matter, for 18 years, you never had representation on this level. It was always a white male that was the hero of your game.
True.
Now, think about the industry overall, period. If it wasn't for Ubisoft, shout out to Ubisoft, because Ubisoft, they understand diversity because they've been doing it for a long time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So without Ubisoft, we wouldn't have Marcus as a lead character in Watch Dogs 2, and I'm actually a character in that game.
Nice.
And I did the song for that game as well. Me and my boy DNA, the battle rapper.
And I got both of them. I got part 1 and 2.
Yep. So I'm a character in that game. Secondly, excuse me. Secondly, if it wasn't for Ubisoft, you wouldn't have Assassin's Creed Origins.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? And these is AAA titles, heavily invested in. It's different. You understand what I'm saying? Not no add-on regular stuff. I'm talking about like you the face of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? On the box and everything. Like, you know what I mean? So there's that. But let's keep it real here. Like, I could count on my hand how many times you've seen that throughout the history of the gaming industry as a lead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And then you gotta think about it from this standpoint too. A lot of the stuff that we see, like I said, I'm happy and glad to see it, but right now it's a cute little trend that they capitalizing on. Until this is actually the new normal where we don't even have to have this conversation as it's something being special, that's when we know it's real. So it's like that's all there is to it. So right now, I care about it. I love to see it. But here's my challenge. In 2008, like I told you, when I was having these conversations and they found every excuse not to do it, I would love to have those same interviews with certain people right now and ask them, why are you doing it now? I just want to ask, why are you doing it now? I just want to know, why are you doing it now? When you could have been done this. Why are you doing it now? What is the purpose of you doing it now? Because you got to understand, as a journalist, I know what the numbers are behind the scenes. I know the type of traffic that all these companies is getting right now. I know the type of money that they are making on utilizing us right now. Like, I know all this other stuff. Like, the stats is there. And I talk to people. You understand what I'm saying? So I know what's going on right now. I already know. Now, my thing is, publicly, I would love for them to answer certain questions. Publicly. Because until you answer those questions and show your humility of how wrong you were publicly, then you're not going to truly feel the authenticity of the moves that you're trying to make now. See, the thing is, it's one thing to do something to try to help somebody, but until you truly have any type of feel of knowing what it's like to be on the other side of it, It's just like a seesaw. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's up, the other person's down. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to ask certain questions to certain people so they could get an understanding of what it feels like. And then when you understand what it feels like, then through the authenticity of that feeling, we can see this be something permanent and it becomes a new normal. So that's what I would like to do. That's what I would like to see, because it's easy to try to make change without, you know, facing your role and why things got this way. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the part. I don't want nobody to escape their part of humility. And I'll give you an example what I mean, right? This dude, Linus Tech Tips, right? He came out, he was going at Tim Sweeney for saying that the PlayStation 5 SSD is this and that and is great and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, nah, it ain't that great. It ain't this. This SSD is faster than the PlayStation 5. He was talking all this crap. I had no clue of what he was actually talking about. And then Tim Sweeney said some things, and Linus, and this dude got like 11 million subscribers. He's on big commercials and everything. And he just came out with a video saying that, yo, I humbly apologize. I was wrong. And actually, here's the truth about what the situation is. And he got schooled, but he publicly made an apology. He publicly did a video. He did everything.
He owned up to it.
He owned up to it. And I can respect that. Because he didn't own up to it in a way where he made some little tweet and was like, oh, well, I'm sorry, my bad. And like, you know, he ain't brush it off. He went out his way. The same energy. Yeah, the same energy that he put in to trying to discredit someone is the same energy that he went in to humble himself and discredit his own self and reveal that he was wrong and in a big way. And I respect that. And that's the missing element right now. It's easy for people to get on a bandwagon in support, but I know the truth of a lot of these people's intentions prior to this moment. And I want to get them out in the open. So the same energy that you had behind the scenes on every reason you gave me not to do these things all the way back in 08, 09, 10, like all these years. Every year I talked about this. And now it took somebody to die for you to really show that initiative. You need to be called out on your stuff. And the same energy you had before, you need to utilize that energy to humble yourself and to show humility and to admit you was wrong. And then we can move forward correctly, because now you got a taste of what it feels like to be on the side of like, Daeg, like, you know, I shouldn't have did this. You know, you need to have a little shame with the way you treated certain things. You need to have a little public shame and then move forward. So that's just my thoughts on it.
And that's the truth, because it's almost like when New Year's comes around, we all do New Year's resolutions every single year. But
right.
we start doing, we're like, all right, I'm gonna diet this year. I'm gonna lose 10 pounds this year. And so they start doing it, and within the first week or two, boom, they're back to their old habits again. And it's almost like a trainer used to tell me. He used to say, people could diet all the time, but they'll gain weight again. They cannot call it a diet anymore. They have to call it a lifestyle.
Right. Bro, I'm clapping it up right now, son. I'm clapping it up right now. That is so powerful what you just said. Yo, go ahead, bro.
And it's the truth. I mean, and it's just like this situation, what you were just saying right now. This isn't a diet. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle change that you need to do. It's not normal. It's a lifestyle change that needs to be done. You know, with everything that's happening, with everybody, like this has been something that's been going on for decades, like centuries. And it doesn't end. It doesn't end because everybody diets for a week and then they stop. They diet, and then suddenly New Year's comes along again. They diet for a week and then they stop. And they never keep going. They're not consistent. Consistency is what screws everything up. And trends is what creates inconsistency.
Yep, exactly. Because as long as it's working for you, I'm gonna utilize it. The moment it doesn't work for me and I can't take nothing from it. That's the whole culture vulture thing. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I can get from you, I'm gonna utilize and stuff like that. And then once everything is used up, on to the next trend, on to the next wave. Like, for example, right? I give you an example because this is very interesting, right? And I'm using Ninja as a reference, but I'm not coming at Ninja. I just want to be clear. I'm just using Ninja as a reference because it proves a point. So, you know, Ninja, playing game, doing his thing, streaming and stuff like that, putting in the work. That's great, right? He has a great marketing team around him. That's great. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all, right? But check this out. When Ninja did the crossover stream with Drake and Travis Scott and all these other people, when he did that, right, everything went through the roof, right? Everything for him went through the roof. That's great, right? And he blew up astronomically doing his thing. Congratulations to him. And that's a beautiful thing, right? Okay. So now that happened and stuff, the deal that he got with Twitch, he got so big on Twitch that Mixer is like, yo, we got to get him because maybe he could bring that energy over to us because we're trying to grow. So let me throw $15 million at Ninja, get him to come over to Mixer, and then now it'll work for us. See, what I love about the gaming industry, and like I always say, it reminds me of how hip-hop used to be, you got to be authentic to the core. If you ain't authentic, money is not going to solve your issues of being fake. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna work that way. So, for example,
you can't buy authentic.
Yeah, you can't buy you can't buy authentic. Yeah. So the thing is, what happened is Ninja leaves Twitch, which if it wasn't for, you know, Twitch, he wouldn't be in a position to leave Twitch with the deal that makes up. You understand what I'm saying? So he left that. So that right there was that's an interesting characteristic. Because I don't know the whole story, so I can't speak on it like I do know. But what I can say is that you left Twitch and you got a $15 million deal with Mixer. Mixer, year over year, showed less than a 1% growth year over year since they had Ninja on Mixer. But if you look at Facebook Gaming, they had a 238% growth by creating a Facebook gaming division to bring more gamers on there to stream on, and they're paying them. And then on top of that, Twitch and YouTube had over 100% growth for both of them, respectfully. So think about it. You got the biggest name on Twitch and everything like that, come over to Mixer and you get the less growth. That's one. Two, a lot of the reason why Ninja got a chance to transition like that, like my man Big Cheese said, was that you had help from black people, like, you know what I'm saying, with Travis Scott and everybody that you stream with and stuff like that brought a whole nother culture and attention. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, all I'm saying is, when you do things right and you do things fairly and you pay attention to everybody collectively that help make the big picture a reality without leaving nobody out of it, then things that happen, the results will happen the right way they should be. But you could try to cut corners all you want. Like I told you, you know, like I was telling you earlier with my grandma and stuff like that, I put God first in everything I do. So you could manipulate whatever you want to try to manipulate, but you can't manipulate God. God sees everything, and results play into that. And I'm telling you right now, when we come out of this and there's going to be a lot of things that's different. There's going to be a lot of things that's changed, and it's our responsibility to, you know, to keep that change there, to really make it the new normal. But it's also the responsibility of a lot of these organizations that's getting involved, supposedly from a genuine standpoint, to keep that same energy permanently. So then it won't be foreign when you see a black person do this or, you know, black person do that. It won't be weird to see. It'll be like, it won't even be nothing to talk about because it's so regular that it's not news no more. It's not a story no more. The only thing that's a news or a story is what you did, not who's doing it.
And I go back to, and the thing is, I go back to the diet analogy. It's almost, it's like,
I love that.
You're gonna lose all that weight, all that negative weight off. It's your job to keep it off.
Yeah, yo, bro, we gotta. I know you book like crazy, but definitely at some point we gotta do this again. Like maybe when the PlayStation 5 is about to come out or something like that. You gotta have me on again, man.
Of course I'm gonna have you on, man. Are you kidding me? I love talking this stuff. And with that being said, I gotta ask you a question I always ask everybody: is how can people stalk you on social media?
Oh man, right now I'll tell everybody to just Google me, Hip Hop Gamer. Google me. Everything will pop up. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Everything will pop up. Everything is Hip Hop Gamer across the board. You know what I'm saying? But I just tell people to Google me because there's a lot of things that I'm doing that you may not even know that I'm doing that you'll discover when you just Google me. So, because like I said, man, I got my gaming and guidance program, you know, that I do, which is philanthropy and, you know, helping the kids out with esports gaming and having panel discussions about, you know, life and love and, you know, how to make money in gaming, bullying, how to better your community. Like we do all of that. I got partnerships with cops as well, where I bring cops and the kids together. So like a lot of the kids, if there's something you don't like about a cop, teenagers, all of them, there's something you don't like about a cop, tell them, let them know. If there's something that you love about a cop, tell them, let her know. Whatever it is, you say what needs to be said, and you have no problems or nothing like that. Like I create forums to try to create these relationships because that's what's missing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to have a relationship no more. Like I had a girl tell a cop that, yo, we know you're gonna be there physically if there's a problem and you gotta fight somebody off, but you're not there for us emotionally. You know what I'm saying? How you in the community and you don't even have a real relationship with us? You don't even know what's going on or whatever, because you don't want to talk to us. You either want to lock us up or sometimes make it seem like you're a part of us. But when it comes down to it, you don't even, you know, care to know our names. You just look at us as a target. So it's like, yo, like we had those conversations in my gaming and guidance program, bro. So I'm just saying, like, these are the things that I do. I'm a character in games. I make songs. I'm an artist, so I make songs for the games. I'm a game journalist. I do the reviews. I do the content. I'm a content creator. I help businesses out. I do a lot. So rock with me, man. Build with me. Let's go.
No, man, totally. And it's like I always said. Well, this has been said for many people for many years. The foundation to a strong, long-lasting relationship is communication. Ooh. That's the bottom line.
Say it again. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the foundation, you know, to a long-lasting, beautiful relationship. And that doesn't just go for a romantic relationship. This goes for every relationship, be it a job, be it your friends, be it just a stranger in the street, you know, that maybe looks at you a certain way. The best thing to find out is what they're feeling is to ask them, what's wrong?
Yeah, because
what's happened?
Yeah, because like I know I ain't do nothing to you, but it's obviously something wrong. So what's up?
And
like, you know what I mean? Like,
and if you're uncomfortable with me, and we can't work this out, then you know what? Peace be with you. I'm walking this way, and that's the bottom line. I'm going this way, you go that way, and never the two shall meet again. And that's the way civilized people talk.
Yep.
That's the
Absolutely.
way a civil society needs to function. Otherwise, well, we all see the results on both ends, unfortunately. And you know, and it's just it's an unfortunate fact, you know. And the thing is that like that you know, minorities, and I was talking to a friend of mine because he was actually at one of the protests in downtown LA last Friday when stuff really started getting like heated down there. And he told me, he's like, dude, you're a part of my minority group. So am I. You know, I'm black. I'm a part of a minority group. You're Latino. You're a part of a minority group. Right. You know, and our voices, you know, like I was talking to him off mic, and you know, it's just tough because the reason for the protest isn't just for, granted, you know, the black community, you know, gets the brunt of it, but Latinos get it too. You know, like I've been like I said on my last podcast, my dad was a victim of injustice and racism for a day. It was really crazy. You know, I've been pulled over for no reason, and the cops looked for a reason. They couldn't find one.
Yep.
You know, but they pulled me over anyway. And I even have a good friend of mine that I've known since childhood, practically since my teenage years. And I'm incredibly proud of him. He's a Los Angeles Police Department officer. Well, he's a detective now. And I'm very proud of his accomplishments because he got into that for all the right reasons. He got into it to help and to be a public servant. And that's what many people need to understand, is that they are here to protect, and there's a key phrase right there, to serve. That's the whole part about being a public servant. A lot of these people that are public servants, they tend to forget that little servant part. And that's what I believe is also a big problem too. And again, until they go ahead and drop that weight and learn how to keep it off, then it's just a diet and it's not a lifestyle change.
Man, yo, the way you said that, bro, that was beyond excellent, man. For real. Like that, yo, we just created like a major highlight clip. You know what I'm saying? Like out of this podcast, man. For real. Like this has been incredible.
It's a reflection off of a good guest having, like, being able to actually being here. That's the reason I love all my guests to come on the show, because they always have something to bring into the conversation, and that's what I love. I love that about all my guests on all my episodes, and having you on here, man. I mean, you're a gamer, but you bring a lot of other, elements to not just gaming, but you also bring a lot of real life elements into it, because real life elements is what inspired you to be where you are right now. And I gotta ask you, out of everything that we've been talking about, games you've been playing, are you thinking about maybe creating a video game yourself? I mean, you've been around this, you've played them all. Will you be creating one for yourself? Like, have you thought of a concept to create a video game for, something that you want to create?
Yeah, man. Yo, honestly, I have, man. Like early on, like, what I'm saying? I have. So I'm gonna tell you something, right? So there's this game that I thought of, and this was like, I'll probably say back in like 2010, something like that. But I love Mortal Kombat. I love Street Fighter. I just love fighting games, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this game back in the day called Bushido Blade.
Oh, yeah, I remember Bushido Blade.
Yeah, and Bushido Blade, it was so real that when you cut somebody, it's like now they fighting with one leg. Or if you cut the arm, they fighting with one arm. Mm-hmm. With today's graphics and today's, technology and stuff like that, I would love to have a game that fuses all martial arts in one game, and you get a chance to fight it out. Now the cool and the way I had it set up was the rules change. So, like, for example, right, you can have a mode where the mode is a straight boxing. So let's say you got somebody that's a kick specialist, but they're not good with their hands. How are they going to perform in a boxing match only? You know what I'm saying? So there's like a criteria that you got to play out that will earn you boxing abilities and stuff like that. When you fight, like, it's so many like dope ideas I have for this concept, but it's a concept that can be built upon. You know what I'm saying? And one of the ideas that I had in it was like, you would have people in real life do like real life unique like martial art combinations, and those real life combinations could be uploaded into the game, and you can download them to your favorite character so they could use something that came from real life. Nice. Yo, bro, it's crazy, man. But that's just a thought. But yeah,
it's
man,
definitely a game I'd like to buy.
Yeah, like it's and the cool thing about it is like, you create your own. You can create your own character. There's already a select characters that's already there, and I already had like guest characters in mind. So like, it'll be dope to have, you know what I'm saying, Leroy from The Last Dragon, you know what I'm saying, as a character you could choose in the game. It'd be dope to have Michael Jai White as Michael Jai White, in the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Michael Jai White, remember, he played his character Bone in I forgot the name of the movie. The name of the movie might be called Bone, but he played this character named Bone, and the movie was so fire, and it's just so many cool things to it, man. So that was a thought that I had way back in terms of a dope fighting game that fuses that realistic, has that realistic look to it, realistic moves, and is based off real life things that we've seen. So when you see them in a game, it's coming from a real place. There's nothing fiction about it. So I think that'd be really dope.
No, and that's definitely something up my alley because I also love fighting games. I have all the UFC games. That's one of the reasons why I love the UFC games. The way they go ahead and put all the different arm bars, rear naked chokes, the omoplatas, the reverse rear naked, like all these different types of the triangle chokeholds. Everything is so realistic because I took mixed martial arts, and I know I know these moves, and I'm just like, wow, they actually got these moves really like perfect. Like they're doing it really like incredible. So yeah, man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I love, and I'm a wrestling fan too. Just by the way, I wanted to tell you that early on. I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid. I kind of stopped for a little bit though, because it's kind of
Yeah, I kind of stopped for a bit too. But the thing is, I've been real busy.
And I was disappointed too in the 2K WWE 2K20.
Oh, 2K20 was horrible.
It was
WWE 2K20. Listen, I've played 2K. I played all the WWE 2Ks.
Me too.
Don't get me wrong; they all got their fair share of glitches.
Mm-hmm.
But 2K20,
the worst.
Like the first match had glitch. Like I
think they half-assed it.
I'm trying to think.
To be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any other game I've ever played in my life that was as glitchy as WWE 2K20? I've played like Assassin's Creed Unity was a horrible glitchy game.
But
I remember that was games. But I don't think anything the worst game ever made in my opinion is still E.T. You know what I'm saying?
I never even played that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the worst game ever made in human existence. Like I'd rather eat boogers or something like that than play ETs. So, like I don't know, like for real, like literally, it's no point in playing this game. Like the only reason why you would buy it is just to say you have it because you got ET on the front cover. Other than that, you wouldn't. That's the first game in history that you will buy to not play. Like matter of fact, I would be like this. Like I'll be like, yo, I want this game to be successful, so you don't make it again. So I will buy it for you not to make it again. But if you tell me you won't make it again, I won't buy it.
You're like, I didn't even deal with this anymore.
Yeah, because they'll try to make it again thinking that they can do better a second time around. No. This is one of those moments where there is no second chances. Strike one, you're out. That's it.
It's almost like, you know what? Treat this like the XFL. Don't try it twice.
Yeah, don't try it
twice. It's actually, at this point, don't try it a third time because you already tried it twice. It still failed. So, don't even try it now. Well, man, Hip Hop Gamer, thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect, man. Seriously, I'm going to have you back on again. I'd love to have, your opinions on certain games that come out, certain DLCs that come out, and get your take on some of this stuff, man. I love adding these types of good information onto the Xander Effect. And dude, I definitely would want to I'd love to have you back on the show again very, very soon.
Yo, dude, let's do it, man. You got my number. You already know what it is, man. It'll be an honor. This was great. You know what I mean? God bless to the audience, out there that's going to check this out. Xander, love you, bro. I really appreciate it, man. This is humbling, and I look forward to doing this again, dog.
Dude, likewise, man. And be safe out there, please. And, dude, be blessed, brother. I'll talk to you very soon.
All right, one love, man. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
All right, later. Thank you so much, Hip Hop Gamer, for being on the Xander Effect. I definitely will have you back on here very soon. I mean, you got an incredible knowledge of gaming, so we all need that. That's for sure, because the Xander Effect is all about entertainment, sports, and video games. So definitely will have you back on the show very soon. That's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to make sure you look out for the World of Dance podcast, where I talk to all the contestants from NBC's World of Dance, talk to them a little bit about, what some questions that have been sent in by the viewers of World of Dance, and also talk to them get to know them a little bit, what happens behind the scenes, and all the good stuff that happens on NBC's World of Dance that premieres every Tuesday on NBC. So make sure you watch out for that one. And the podcast This premieres every Friday on all major streaming sites, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, TuneIn Radio, etc. So yeah, definitely watch for that podcast every Friday. And the Xander Effect is changing timing days here and there as well. Usually my show was on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now it's going to be on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So make sure you watch out for that one. Again, you can catch those on all streaming sites. You can catch it on Spotify, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and many, many more. So make sure you watch out for that. And as always, be safe out there. Unfortunately, the coronavirus is still out there. Things are reopening, but make sure you stay safe. Still practice social distancing because they still have not found a vaccine for the virus, and it's still very contagious. So be careful out there as things start reopening up little by little. And as far as everything else concerned, love each other, respect each other, be with each other. Especially right now during this time that we're all in all of this together, whether it be social injustice, whether it be racism, whether it be the virus, whether it be anything. We're all humans in this planet. We're all in this together. We all live on this planet together, and we all must face all these things together. And remember, music always, always heals all. We'll see you next time.
Y'all. I be tell I told. Yeah, you did. They ain't believe it though. One life. Do Brown. Same game, be telling. What up? Woo! So we kick it like it's kickball. Power couple. She dripping in that Dolce Gabbana. They wanna touch her. Everybody know that's do girl. What you gonna do by it? Me and her take on the world. Now that's the truth.
Hey everyone, the Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., Sony Music, The Orchard, and BMG Bertelsmann Group, in association with Art 19 Media.